Prosper, CEC, and audience members. I'm Reverend Brad Wishon. I'm Vice President of No Longer Silent Clergy for Justice, a local organization of Christian clergy advocating for the full inclusion of lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender individuals in church and society. I realize you face an enormous task this evening, and I congratulate you on the willingness to wrestle with challenging social issues. I want to specifically call your attention to the ethic by which I and all Christians are called to live. Jesus, when addressing those who were not perceived as in the mainstream of his society, made it clear that every person's concern must always be for the least of these, meaning those who do not fit into the majority categories of the social structures of the day. I've read through much of the statements that were made or previously submitted as purported Christian perspective in the issue of gender identity. And I'm here to tell you that voice does not represent the Christian tradition faithfully. Family Watch International is an organization that has dedicated its resources to shoring up discrimination in the guise of protecting marriage, family, and children. I stand before you to say the transgender students and children need your protection, especially from misguided organizations that use outdated and refuted science to support what is simply their own bias and prejudice. It should be noted that Family Watch International continues to list Ugandan pastor Martin Sasempi as their Africa coordinator, though they recently said the association has ended. Yet in January of this year, they brought him to Phoenix for the Global Family Public Forum. It should also be noted with abhorrence that this pastor is one of the primary proponents of the Kill the Homosexuals bill in the Ugandan parliament. Those who have submitted to you that they speak on the basis of Christian morality are either misrepresenting Christian moral ethics or they are ignorant of the Christian tradition going all the way back to Jesus Christ. We as Christians are never allowed to pass judgment on any other person. We are never allowed to diminish another human being to the point that Jesus said to call someone a fool endangers our soul. Rather, as Christians, we are called to the utmost respect for people, especially for those people society deems abnormal or inappropriate. And while the overwhelming majority of the psychiatric and psychological community has determined that there is nothing abnormal about transgender individuals, societal stigma still keeps them marginalized and open to violence, both physical and psychological. You have in your hands tonight the opportunity to end that violence for a portion of your student and employee population. In the documents submitted to this board by Family Watch International opposing this protection, they twice attempt to defend segregation by asserting that transgender individuals deserve to be discriminated against because they supposedly suffer from a mental disorder. That same argument was made to support segregated facilities to preserve racial purity, and it is as spurious now as it was then. The U.S. Supreme Court settled the issue. Separate is inherently unequal. The truth is, this is a tactic of bullies. It is used to diminish someone who is perceived as odd or different and classified erroneously as mentally ill. The true abnormality is that we are here discussing whether protecting people from discrimination is the right thing to do. Tonight you can do this simple act that lives up to the human ideal Jesus called for. When you do it to one of the least of these, you have done it to me. For when you stand for the equal protection of your transgender students and employees, you live out the best and highest of what human potential can be. And you send a signal that will resonate throughout the community. Bullying, by policy or by practice, is not acceptable in Maricopa Community College system. Thank you for your time.